Welcome to the archive.
This tree, it was a seed at a point, right? But was it less of a tree because it was a seed?
Where we explore the stories of African artists.
The pinnacle of art is finding a language with all of them.
And entertainers. Winners know when to stop.
Yeah, where you're like, all losers, right?
Okay. If you have watched The Heart of a Hunter, Red Ink, and The Wife, you know exactly who I'm talking about. No stranger to the screens and no stranger to the arts. His name is Bonko Khoza, and it's such an absolute honor to have him here today with us. Hi.
I hope.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm good. So here at the archive, we want people to feel at home. And I think something that is very crucial to us is artists owning who they are and owning who their stories. So I could sit here and read your bio and tell them of all the accolades that you have accomplished, but I think we want to know from your perspective, who's Bonko? Like,
Bonko Khoza. I'm a Zulu. I'm a Zulu boy. I'm an actor. I'm a husband, son. A husband to an amazing wife, and just an artist. Trying to make things happen in the best way that I can. I think that best defines me.
so let's go back to when you were 5. And who was that person, and like what was that person's dreams? What was an afternoon for you at 5 years old after crèche? Like, what kind of person, like, do you think you could say you were? Were you bubbly? Were you the kind of child that stayed at home a lot? Like, who was that person when you were 5 years old? If you could paint that picture for us.
I think I was probably the kid who stayed home a lot. I watched a lot of movies, watched a lot of TV, cartoons. Spent a lot of time watching The Lion King, The Mask on VCR, VHS. Yeah, and outside, probably me and my cousin Mandy were like choreographing some sort of fight sequence, or after watching an Asian movie or something, or choreographing some dance sequence or something. I don't know.
So this started like very, very long time ago.
Yeah, I mean it's kids with no toys, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to paint your own imagination and build this new world that you like create for yourself.
Yeah, you gotta make things fun for yourself. We used to take pieces of paper, like if it rained, then the water would water would be like running down the streets, like on the pavement, and you put a piece of paper and like you race
On the water.
Yeah.
And you like jet skis in your mind and
Yeah, I mean, like it was like a game. So like I put the chappy paper, and maybe my cousin will put something else, and we'd watch the things race.
okay, on the water.
Yeah, and like the stream in the street, or you take a brick and it's a car. You'll draw a road in the street.
With the bricks and just create this world of imagination. Because like what you're saying to me right now as I'm listening to you is that you learned how to imagine at a very young age, because like you say, we didn't have toys, so we had to kind of make our own world of entertainment.
Yeah.
And so it's like this storytelling gift of yours started just at a young age, That's so beautiful. And I think as I was learning about you, you're so multifaceted, and I think like in your journey you've explored so many different avenues of art. And if it wasn't design, it was graphic art. If it wasn't graphic art, it was music has played a big part of who you are. And I think like for us as South Africa, we just know Mqhele, he comes out, but there's so much to you behind who we've been introduced to, right? And how do you think like those different aspects of the arts, like for instance, the music, the graphic design, the drawing, you also love drawing, voiceover artists, like all these different facets, but when we look at it, you're telling a story. So how do you think that your multifacetedness, I don't know if that's a word, but how do you think that all these different aspects of the storytelling aspect, how did you learn your voice as Bonko?
I don't know. I think I'm still finding my voice. Still finding what else there is to be explored, I mean, at the fundamental of it, at the foundation, which is fundamental anyway, at the foundation of it, those things are quite, I want to say like mediums. They're like, they're basic, you know. I think really the the pinnacle of art is finding a language with all of them, right? It's finding a way to communicate a concept or an idea through, I mean, I think filmmaking is almost the closest thing to like the pinnacle of art, because there's music, there's art department, there's acting, there's directing, there's editing. There's so many things that the filmmaker has to play with to communicate one idea. So I think for me, if anything, I would say I would like film for me is a way to do many things at once.
And explore all these different sides of you.
Yeah, I mean,
Or not different sides, is it just you and you're able to explore yourself in different ways?
here's what I'll put to you, right? This tree, for example, right? It was a seed at a point, right? But was it less of a tree because it was a seed? And is it less of a seed now because it's a tree? You know,
I get what you're saying.
like it's one thing in different forms.
But it's just now maybe we're seeing the fruits of the seed,
Well, yeah, we're seeing
the outside of the roots, the actual.
we're seeing its growth. We're seeing
Okay.
You understand?
But it's always been there.
But it's always
It's
been
always been rooted, and it was a seed.
even at the store where you buy it, they tell you this is the oak tree seed. But when you look at it, it's just a pack of seeds. But this thing is going to turn into something else. Same with me. It's hard for me to like quantify a moment in my life where I was a seed, because at the end of the day, it's like maybe the kid that draws is a seed that needs to be in this circumstance to do this. And even acting, I think acting could also be like, you don't know what journey of the transformation this is. Maybe I'm meant to be an author one day.
Okay.
Maybe I'm meant to be the fucking president.
Yes.
Right? But I had to
go through this
and have gone through that
to get to where you're going.
You know what I mean?
Okay. And I love what you say, that it's a journey, right? And in this journey with the different seeds, how have you known that there were weeds? Because if we're talking about this tree, right, when you grow a plant, there's different elements that allow the plant to grow, but there's also elements that allow the plant to die.
Right.
How did you differentiate for yourself? This is allowing for my growth, and this is allowing for my detriment. Because in your journey, you speak a lot about how failing has helped you know, like, how it's helped you. So how did you know how to separate the weeds and the...
I think I'm someone who I'm someone who is quick to identify what works. Like I'm like second chances, third chances, but maybe not the fourth one.
Not the fourth. So you know when to stop. Winners know when to stop.
Yeah, when you're like, or losers, right?
Okay. Okay.
You're not winning at something, you clearly know, okay,
This is not it.
yeah, maybe this might not be for me. Then I move on. And I can even accept that sometimes I was good at it. You know, there's like a drawing. There was a point, you know, I could draw the crap out of anything. But now I'm like, I don't have to try to prove anything to anyone. It was like a phase, you know, or making music. It's like, yeah, I could sit the whole day making raps, but you know, I've transformed
Into a different phase.
into a different phase. And then it takes one or two moments where you're like, nah, maybe you should be doing something else. And you also see by virtue of things that are working.
Okay.
Also apart from being someone who like is quick to let go of things that don't work, but I'm also like, I'm quick to capitalize on things that I feel are working, right?
Seizing the moment and being able to see the opportunity
Yeah.
for what it is and what it could be.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Speaking of that, of course, this is who everybody was introduced to, Mqhele. You slayed that character. There was a time I was like, yo, this man is so toxic. Like, I was watching that character and it was like, what the hell, you know? And this person didn't only evolve your career, I think he might have evolved you. So can you first share with us what has Mqhele done for you and what did he represent for you in the moment that it happened? Because we obviously saw the series months later, but there was a time where you and yourself was building this character, and I love that. I'm going to speak about her later, Lesego, but I love your creative process, how you guys do it together, you know. So how was it for you to now this precious thing that is building inside of you guys at your house, it changed your lives.
Yeah.
It changed your lives. And pre the wife and post the wife is completely different lives. So what was that like for you and your household to kind of like go through that transition and to find your grounding afterwards?
It was cool. It was interesting. Obviously, I mean, from like the fame, I think for me is also a very interesting thing. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know how much I can credit in my art, like me as a person, to fame. Like, how I can't tell you what fame has done apart from like,
Okay, just
knows you.
make you visible.
Yeah.
But you've always, like, with speaking about the seed and the root, you've always been Bonko Khoza. It's just maybe we have now been afforded the opportunity to be introduced to him, or maybe a more mass market has now
Experienced what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say was that with the character in particular, what happened, I think for me was a combination of like a combination of experience for the perfect role.
So do you think you were chosen? Did you feel like I felt when I was watching, I was like, this is his character, you know? So do you think like there was that divine alignment between you two when you were playing him?
Yeah, sure, we can say that. But like, I think the real question to ask is like, is how much can one create their own luck, right? Because I think sometimes when you're lucky, people can associate it with like coincidence or like the universe. But then there's also something to say like that person, whoever did whatever with that opportunity, was very prepared for that opportunity. So that's what I'm saying, like it's a little contribution. It's like a 50-50 between myself and the universe. Like I was at a point where I was like, I had just enough knowledge or hunger or experience, or like I was ready, and the character came.
Okay.
So you're like, dang, the character still could have came and I wasn't in that state, and then it could have been a whole.
It was gonna be a different story.
It could have been a whole. I could have been like, oh, this is. But I was like, dang, there's this thing I really want to do now. I'm gonna try this character, and then I did it, and I've worked many times afterwards that I don't have that feeling still.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. It's like, I wonder. I was saying this to my wife earlier. I was like, bruh, because now obviously I've changed. I'm a dad. I'm married. There's so much that's changed. Where you're like, sometimes what makes good characters? And sometimes you can watch on TV where you're like, this guy's so into this character, but then the show is not that big, or it's overlooked, or you're like, man, this is a big show and the actor is not coming.
It's not coming to the party.
So I'm like, man, so I don't know. It's a combination of two things, but I know particularly for me at that point in life, I was just hungry, dude. I was.
Okay, this is interesting. You're saying you were hungry, right? So there's when you have that fighting spirit and you like, it's not desperation, because I think there's there's a difference between desperation and like that fire.
Yeah.
So now that I guess you've tasted and seen what you once prior and wanted to know, how do you then re-inspire yourself and like get that fire back?
Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows? Look, I'm an artist. I can't. I try to do what artists do, which is like take in the world and then hope that as a vessel of this thing, it'll turn, it'll churn, it'll happen. Like when you try to be in control, I mean, you have to be professional, you have to do, there's a level of professionalism I think can get you way further than your talent or your inspiration or whatever, right? Some actors, very long-standing, long-working actors are just disciplined and professional, right? That beats everything. But then you want those Mqhele type of things.
Yes, like there's a nuance that is like, and I think you are somebody that has that, Denzel Washington, there's only one Denzel, and you can see it in the eyes. I think acting is something that you cannot lie about. It's either you're doing it or you can't do it. And there's like a place that one person goes to. And I feel, I don't know if is it courage or what it is, but there's that place that you go to that it's no longer just action cut, but it's like, wait, there's something that just happened.
100%. Bro, that's the best description, huh? That's what we all look for,
And okay, yes, I'm listening.
You watch something and that's how you know that this is going to be good, or this guy's killing this role, because you see he's not there,
Yes.
Man, this guy, or he or she transports you to another place and you're like, wow, I wasn't there, I wasn't here for a second, I was in that story or whatever. And there's a lot. For me, I can name a number of people who did the same, who also made me feel like that, who made me feel like that as well.
What is that place though? Because like I see it, and like I said before, I am an actor, and I only feel like I've experienced that once. It was like once that I felt like that was not me. And there's that place that you go that is like sacred and it's very spiritual. I think it's very spiritual.
Yeah, I would call it the place of agreement. You know, it's like in a world where we're all different, we all see things differently, we all have different perspectives, bro. It's that one place where two individuals can meet. You know, it's like I can go there, but if you don't go there, then you never know that we will.
So are you saying there's an agreement within yourself between Bonko and the character, or an agreement between the two people that are acting?
No, you and the audience.
Okay.
Because remember, it's not an objective experience. It can't be it's not an individual experience. You're telling me this because you watched this and you felt something. So there's some way in what I was doing and what you were watching that went somewhere, you know, and that place there is where true performances lie, where as much as you in character, but you're also transporting the audience. Yes, that's the point. That means you're like doing this thing on your own. But if you can do something and move people, make them cry, make them laugh, make them forget, make them angry, then, you know, you're tapping into like a consciousness, and that's why I say I call it the place of
Agreement. Okay,
It-
that's such a beautiful
You're meeting at that place during the show. You're like, man, you're not at home. I'm not in my head or self, you know.
Okay, so it's like, I think that's something you said film does really beautifully. It transports you into a different world for those 2 hours, you know. And then when it's done and you see the credits, it's like, okay, I'm back. Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, we in our imaginations, but you're there with the other person, not be alone.
Yes. So the audience and the performer or the art are meeting in agreement.
And it's not painted, it's not shown, it's not directed. It's like
It's there.
I tap into my imagination so deeply.
It allows other people to imagine with you. Oh. Okay, sorry. Okay, I want to know, you know, your wife and you have such a beautiful relationship from the outside. I don't know, you know, but I feel like they will know you by the fruits, you know, and I think a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. What do you think Lesego has done for you? And could Bonko Khoza have been Bonko Khoza if your destiny helper, who is Lesego, wasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely not. No, never in a million years. I think she's a shareholder in the whole establishment.
It's an empire that you're
Yeah.
building together.
She's a pillar in everything that we have. And yeah, man, I think my wife has played like a very supportive role, a very loving role, a very patient role, um, in this world of making art. And I think also partly because she's an artist herself, you know, so I don't know how things would go if things were even by 1 degree different, you know, say she wasn't an artist or say we hadn't made the timeline.
I love your story of how you made this, like, yo, you just knew, like, you just met and there was something that just knew that this one is the one.
Yeah. I mean, I've been blessed in life with things that like are almost beyond my control, you know.
I want to ask about that. You say you've been blessed with things that are beyond your control. So, how have you learned to submit to that? Because I think a lot of people get the unction and the feeling and the gut feeling, but they don't listen. And then they miss their moment, they miss their person, they miss their call. Like, because it's like you feel it. Or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, surrender is a tricky thing. I believe in God, like I
Same.
don't know about, all that other stuff. And I've seen God do it many times in my life, in my family's life. I've seen him do it, It's different hearing from someone else or hearing a story and then wishing it for yourself.
You know it,
Yeah.
and you felt it, and it's very tangible that this man does not play about me.
For a long time, I used to say, I'm not a believer, I'm a witness. Like I've seen it.
Sure, that's so beautiful.
It's different to believe, and there's another thing to know. But I know for sure. And I also believe regret is a choice, because regret is tough because you miss.
The lesson?
Yeah, you could miss where the road is going, as opposed to where it should have went.
Okay.
Or where it should have been.
Don't you think that regret is kind of like a redirection, or like those seasons in our lives that are so difficult and like nothing is aligning? I think it's like a redirection, and it's in the listening of the stillness that will move you to the next place that you're meant to be. But if you're so afraid of the failure or the pain or the heartbreak, you miss the light.
Yeah, I agree. I think life is suffering. That's like, I think at its core, the most inevitable thing in life is suffering. So for me, I feel like regret is like a self-inflicted suffering. Do you know what I mean? Like, without asking, life will hand you disappointment, anger, sadness. Someone in your family is gonna die. Something bad's gonna happen to you. You're gonna get robbed in property. Like, that's for free. So why would you choose
To stay there.
Yeah, or to cook up your own suffering?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And that for me are things like regret, things like, staying in toxic situations, like you're saying. Like, I leave quick, bro. If I see like this thing's not working, I'm out. Or like this is not nice, I'm out. Like, cause why do I?
Want to put myself through that. I think why people stay is because of fear. Fear of like, it's never going to change. So why don't I just stay here? Because better the devil I know than the devil I don't,
Yeah.
But
The problem with that is that there's only one life. And I mean, the term YOLO, you only live once. It still rings true to me. Like, there's only one life. There's only one life. And you realize in retrospect that a lot of things at the time mean so much more than what they actually mean in real life. Like, things that I did when I was 28, 29. Bruh, like, nobody cares. Like, nobody even, like, they don't directly affect me right now, unless I've committed a crime and I have a criminal record or whatever, those type of things. I can't speak for that. But I still believe there are instances in life where, even though you've done those things, like, life still has so much more in store for you.
And you haven't met all the people that you're meant to meet. You haven't yet become Bonko. You're still becoming. And there's never going to be a time when you arrive, right?
Yeah. There's so much more to life, too. And I've just chosen not to ever stick a flag in the ground, when you get to a place and you're like, this is it. Like, I don't have flags. I just got a backpack. I got my wife. I got my daughter, and we just keep moving.
And how was it like? I remember seeing on Instagram everybody celebrating the fact that you're in Cannes, and it's like this is the pinnacle of, like a filmmaker's dream. You just want to go there, and you are a new father also. And it's like, how did you balance that? Like when you were, or when you're traveling, or when you're always on set, and now you're a family man and you really, really love your family. How do you handle like balancing honoring your call as the leader of your family and honoring the call upon your soul? But they both your call, because it's all the intertwined. But like, how was it when you were in Cannes, and and what is it like? What was that like? What was that experience like?
Canada was cool, man. Canada was really cool. I went with my good friend Manda Bube,
I know him.
yeah, he was closing finance on a project or two, and I was there to kind of have some meetings, meet some people, and just kind of check out the festival. And it was cool. It was cool. I think it's great. It's great for any filmmaker to meet a bunch of global filmmakers. That's the list. If you can never leave your hometown at a thing that you enjoy, films or whatever it may be, a basketball match or whatever, but go do it somewhere else. It's such a joy to meet other people who are like-minded.
And they're on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
But we all just love this medium that we all here for, whether it be film, music, basketball. And that's so beautiful. Sorry, I was just thinking about that even though you are this Zulu guy, you were able to connect with somebody on the other side of the world on the basis of loving
This thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So see the place of agreement.
Agreement.
Yeah.
So kick.
Goes all over the world, dude. People you might even can't even speak the same language, and we're like, it was cool, the part with car.
Yeah. And we agreeing with each other.
And we watched the same movie. We felt that the same thing,
Yo, Bonko, I think you are phenomenal. And I'm just excited to see where this empire that you and Lesego are building goes.
Yeah.
And I just pray that as you guys grow, you just be enlarged and you continue to agree with what has been said before you and for you, and that you just not only lead in the world of art and continue to disrupt the norm, but also lead at home and continue to just shine a light on your family. Because I think it's very important that we have people that are showing us that you can be successful and be honorable.
Thank you.
So thank you for honoring not only your call, but just, I know like it's so tough when people are like, you're a role model because you're just a gent, and you just, to yourself and the people that know you, you're just Bonko, dude. I'm sure your friends and your cousins, they're just like, Joe, Ashe, but to the world, you're a tangible representation
Thank you so
of what it could be and what it can be. So thank you for coming to the archive.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the amazing team in the back. Shots.
Thank you to Lesego.
Hammers. Thank you to Lesego.
Yes. Art on Denim. Art on Denim, yes.
Yeah, charity's place. It's really dope. But thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure to come out. I know I get very busy. By the grace of God, but every chance I get, and we've been trying to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
But every chance I get,
agreement.
Yeah,
it's finally agreed.
It's finally agreed.
Yeah,
we hit that sweet spot.
Yeah,
I just wait for more moments like these. Everyone watching at home, just live your life to the fullest. Yeah,
and go fetch your dream and be in agreement to what God has said about you. Thank you very much for coming to the archive. This episode is with Bonko Khoza, a phenomenal African storyteller, and it is in partnership with Art on Denim, Wild House Entertainment, and Ubertainment Media. My name is Hope Mareka. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Great.